Sylvia.
Good evening and welcome to the meeting of the Skokie Village Board for Monday, October 15th, 2018. This evening we will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Village Clerk Pramod Shah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The meeting will come to order and the clerk will please call the roll.
Trustee Roberts.
Here.
Trustee Sutker.
Here.
Trustee Ulrich.
Here.
Trustee Bromberg.
Here.
Trustee Klein.
Here.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Here.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Here we have a quorum. Next item is approval of the consent agenda for this evening's meeting. A motion is in order. Trustee Klein, seconded by Trustee Gray Keeler. Is there anything on the consent agenda anybody would like to have removed? If not, call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts.
Aye.
Trustee Sutker.
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich.
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg.
Aye.
Trustee Klein.
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes. With that vote, the village board has appointed 3 people to a couple of our commissions. A couple of the members are with us this evening, and I would like to introduce them. The first is Rebecca Abraham, who is joining the Commission on Family Services. Rebecca, would you? And James Specker is joining the Human Relations Commission. Thank you very much for your volunteerism. We will be putting you to work, I can assure you. There was an enormous amount of gratitude that we had for those of you who give so many hours of time to making our community such a great place to live. Each one of the commissions has a duty, and the Commission on Family Services and the Human Relations Commission both have particular responsibilities that are very important to us. We like to believe that we're a community that cares about our neighbors and wants to ensure that everybody in the village is comfortable and feels recognized. Both of these commissions help us do that. So I want to thank Rebecca and I want to thank James very much. And thank you for being here at the meeting this evening. We appreciate it. Next item is a report of our village manager, John Lockerbie.
Thank you, Mayor Van Dusen and Village Board. Good evening, everyone. Item A is regarding a Cook County Class 6B real estate tax incentive for 7415 St. Louis Avenue. The Economic Development staff is recommending a Class 6B property tax incentive for the property located at 7415 St. Louis Avenue. The property was for sale for over 22 months and recently sold for $920,000 to 7415 St. Louis LLC, a joint venture partnership between John Beadle and Andrew Davidson of MB Real Estate, and they're in the audience this evening. They plan on developing the abandoned site into an enhanced location for food processing, catering, or food-related businesses. The new owners plan on investing approximately $1 million to upgrade and convert the building with improvements that will include major roof repairs, interior walls, cooler, freezer renovations, floor drains, kitchen, bathroom upgrades, security fire enhancements, office space, tuck pointing, and exterior landscaping. Anticipated employment growth is projected at between 10 and 15 workers, and the estimated date of occupation is the first quarter of 2019. The total project cost, including acquisition and rehabilitation costs, is estimated at $1.92 million. The Cook County Class 6B incentive provides a property tax reduction for 12 years. Approval of the Village Board and Cook County Assessor's Office is necessary. The most recent assessed valuation on the property is $188,750, with real estate taxes at approximately $57,000. Due to the current vacancy of the property, the assessed valuation would likely fall to approximately $65,000, with annual taxes in the $16,800 range. However, staff is projecting that following the purchase and subsequent renovation, the property's market value would rise to approximately $1.3 million. Following a Class 6B reduction, the assessed valuation would be an estimated $130,000, which equates to an estimated $35,000 in property taxes. Even with the Class 6B in place, the new project will increase the annual property taxes by over 110% from what it would generate in its current vacant state. I concur with staff's recommendation and their assessment that this project is an excellent candidate for a Class 6B classification. I respectfully request Mayor and Board approval of a resolution authorizing this designation.
A motion on the Cook County Class 6B real estate tax incentive for 7415 St. Louis Avenue is in order. Trustee Roberts, seconded by Trustee Sutker. Len Becker is at the microphone. Are there any comments or questions? Trustee Roberts.
I just wondered if Mr. Beadle or Mr. Davidson, if you would be able just to tell us a little bit more about your business plans for the business, if you would, please.
Yes, if you would. Yeah, please. This is a food area. There's a lot of catering companies and oriental food and kosher processors, and we just are, and it's been in the food industry for I think the last 25 years, and we just think that this would be a good targeted area. We've been receiving inquiries from some breweries, we've been receiving inquiries from caterers, food trading companies, import-export companies, and because of the ceiling heights in the warehouse and the loading docks, that we just think this makes a lot of sense. And also the size of the building, it's a smaller building, and it seems to be working pretty well for them.
You know, and I appreciate you choosing Skokie. What is this 6B? How does this help you make this investment and get started in your business in Skokie?
It's just that $3 of taxes right now per square foot and doing all the improvements do not make a lot of sense. So if we're going to attract the type of tenants that need these improvements, the drains and the tuck pointing and the new lighting systems, we just need to get a little bit of a reduction.
Yes, and is Mr. Becker's memo accurate about hopefully your projected workforce will be 10 or 15?
Yes, that holds the amount of people.
Great. Well, thank you for choosing Skokie. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Thank
it's a great
We all
community.
appreciate it.
Call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts,
I vote aye.
Trustee Sutker,
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich,
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg,
Aye.
Trustee Klein,
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler,
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye. Welcome to Skokie.
Items B, C, D, and E were approved as part of the consent agenda this evening. Item F is regarding a request for executive session pursuant to Section 2, Paragraph C6 of the State of Illinois Open Meetings Act. A closed session is requested and to adjourn therefrom.
A motion on the manager's request for an executive session is in order. Trustee Sucker, seconded by Trustee Ulrich. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts.
Aye.
Trustee Sutker.
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich.
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg.
Aye.
Trustee Klein.
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes.
That completes my report this evening.
Next item on the agenda is report of our Corporation Counsel, Michael Lorge.
Thank you, Mayor, trustees. Good evening, everyone. Items A and B were both on the consent agenda tonight. A notice of correction placed item B on that consent agenda as well, and both items were approved as part of the consent vote at the beginning of the meeting, and therefore that would complete my report.
Thank you. This evening, we have several Plan Commission reports. Chairman Paul Luke with Peter Pryor. As they're taking to the podium, I would like to explain that for those of you who have a copy of the agenda before you, you can break the Plan Commission cases down into 3 sections. A is a singular case, zoning map amendment. B, C, D, and F are regarding the Graham Breyer senior living case. And then G is a site plan approval for the Hedra Lebovich School. So we will start with Plan Commission A. Mr. Chairman?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. Good evening. First case is case 2018-25P, zoning map amendment at 7701 Skokie Boulevard. At the September 20th meeting of the Plan Commission, we reviewed the request of the Skokie Park District to amend the zoning map to change the zoning district for 7701 Skokie Boulevard from an R2 single family to an M2 light industry. The petitioner intends to sell its former public works facility to Sherman Dodge so that the car dealer can expand its business onto the site. The site is required to be rezoned as a condition of the sale of the property because a car dealer is not a permitted use in the existing R2 district. The Sherman Dodge property to the south is currently zoned M1 office assembly industry. Sherman Dodge desires that the subject site be rezoned to M2 as opposed to M1 because the M2 district has a minimum front yard setback of 25 feet versus the 50-foot minimum setback required in an M1 district. Upon acquisition of the subject site, Sherman Dodge intends to rezone the remainder of its property from N1 to M2 and vacate Keating Avenue between Howard Street and the subject site in conjunction with other site improvements that will be made to their business. The Plan Commission concurs with staff's recommendation to grant the zoning amendment.
A motion on Plan Commission case 2018-25P, zoning map amendment 7701 Skokie Boulevard is in order. Trustee Bromberg, seconded by Trustee Gray Keeler. Are there any comments or questions on this case? Nobody? If not, call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts.
Aye.
Trustee Sutker.
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich.
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg.
Aye.
Trustee Klein.
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes. Everybody sit back, buckle up. Here we go. B through F.
I will read the case numbers and their titles before I give you a quick summary. I have Plan Commission case 2018-26P, a zoning map amendment at 5300 through 5414 and 5328 Lincoln Avenue, B1 service commercial to NX neighborhood mixed use. Also Plan Commission case 2018-72P, alley vacation, 2018-28P, a subdivision, 2018-29P, a site plan approval, 2018-31P, special use permit. Case 21-1830P was parking determination, and the Plan Commission has the final oversight on that, on parking determinations. These cases were heard and approved at the September 20th meeting of the Plan Commission. They involved existing U.S. Toy and neighboring properties, specifically Toy Partners of Skokie LLC and 5328 Partners LLC, located at 5300, 5314, and 5328 Lincoln Avenue. And its redevelopment with a special proposed assisted living and skilled nursing facility. The development address will be 5318 Lincoln Avenue. In case 2018-26P is a request to amend the zoning map to change the zoning district from the subject site from M1, no, excuse me, from B1 service commercial to NX neighborhood mixed use. The NX zoning is more desirable for the site because the comprehensive plan calls for this site to be a service, retail, employment use, and NX zoning is a good transition from the R2 single family to a B2 commercial, and the NX zoning district also allows building height of 45 feet that is needed for this development. In case 2018-27P is a request for the vacation of a portion of the alley bounded by Lee Street, Lockwood Avenue, Lincoln Avenue, and Grosse Pointe Road. In case 2018-28P is a request for a subdivision at 5300 through 5314 and 5328 Lincoln Avenue to create one lot. In case 2018-29P is a request for a site plan approval for 5318 Lincoln Avenue with an exception to use to allow a skilled nursing facility. The Grandbrier of Skokie project will be Skokie's first assisted living facility and will provide new investment in a portion of the village that has not seen too much new development. The proposed building will have 78 assisted living units, 53 covered and outdoor parking spaces, which exceeds the parking requirements of 45 spaces. The building is a good transition use between the residential uses to the north and the office and service commercial uses on Lincoln Avenue. The building meets all siting and design requirements for the NX Mixed Use District. The building is entitled to a maximum FAR of 2.05, which includes standard bonuses for a corner lot and a public plaza to be located at the corner of Lincoln and Lockwood. The memory care area is a skilled nursing facility in the village code, which is not listed as a use in the NX zoning district. The exception to use to allow a small portion, no more than 20% of the building area to be used for a 14-room memory care unit as a cohesive and rational extension of the primary assisted living facility use. In case 2018-30P is a request for a parking determination, which the Plan Commission already has determined. In case 2018-31P is a request for a special use permit for an assisted living facility. One of the reasons behind the special use permit process is that it enables the Plan Commission and the Village Board to review a development to mitigate any potential negative impacts on the surrounding neighborhood. Staff and Plan Commission's members saw the development as a positive improvement for the area, and we do not see any negative impacts at its operation. The Plan Commission concurs with the staff's recommendation to approve each of the requests.
Thank you. First, on the project itself, before we start going through each one, B2 through and including F, are there any overall comments or questions from the members of the village board? And then I'll ask if anybody in the audience has any comments or questions. I believe nobody spoke at the Plan Commission meeting. Is that correct? Okay. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Trustee Sucker.
Do we have any information on Grandbrier Senior Living?
Is the petitioner here tonight?
Yes, the petitioner's here and they can make a short presentation.
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Chris Rentz. I'm the Development Director for Grandbrier Senior Living. You asked about...
Do you have any other facilities?
Oh, yes.
in the
We just
neighborhood?
completed a facility in Prospect Heights, which has just been stabilized and meaning it's full. And we're beginning construction on an additional facility in Bloomingdale, Illinois, on Lake Street, very similar to what you see here. And we're working, one of the partners is Frontier Management out of Portland, Oregon, and they operate a total of 80 facilities in 12 states across the country. They'll be the primary operator. Grandbrier is the developer, the builder, and the owner of the building. And then Frontier actually provides the services and staffs the facility.
Okay, so the management company knows the business very well, is what you're saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, great.
Trustee Roberts.
Sir, would you just tell us a little bit about some of the amenities of the building? I noticed from the picture here, there's, on the 4th floor, there is a kind of a rooftop garden, or I don't know how you would characterize it.
Well, one thing that's kind of cool about the building, and actually Michelle Sablack with Warren Jerebeck Wiltsey Architects is here as well.
okay.
But I'll speak to that because it was something that I actually had a little part in. Just so you know, I ran a business at the corner of Main Street and Niles Center for 14 years. So I passed by this site every single day. And I became very familiar with it and always wondered when constructive playthings would finally run its course and fall to the internet as it has. But that corner is an outdoor plaza or a garden for the residents to come out. And the cool thing about the way that it's sited is you'll actually get a view of the city and maybe a peek at the lake in the months when when the leaves fall. So we thought it'd be a nice way to draw people out into the outdoors, yet give them the opportunity to be in a safe environment, if you will. They can also come downstairs and enjoy the public plaza that we've created as well, which will allow them to interact with folks on the street level. So if you'd like a quick run through on the building, I'd be happy to bring
Sure,
Michelle up
please.
and
I would-
let her do her thing. Come on up, Michelle.
Thank you. As Chris mentioned, my name is Michelle Sablack. I'm with Warren Jerebeck Wiltsey Architects, the architect for the building, and I can pull up actually our site plan and take you through. Get that going. There we go.
You know you've been here a while, and she knows where everything is in the floor, so. She knows more than we do.
Uh-oh. It's not loading. Okay. So, as Chris mentioned, and as the chairman mentioned, it'll be a 4-story assisted living building with memory care. So there's 4 stories of assisted living. In this zone here, we have covered parking with 3 stories up above. The memory care unit, which is defined as skilled nursing in the village code, is on the 2nd floor here. In addition to the corner terrace that Chris had mentioned, we also have, this corner terrace is up on the 4th floor. We also have a second floor memory care garden specifically for the memory care residents here. And really the idea with these 2 kind of rooftop terraces at different levels is both to kind of break down the scale of the building a little bit in order to help negotiate and kind of break down some of the mass of it, thinking about it as a transitional zone in between the neighbors, the residential neighbors to the north, and our more service commercial spaces to the south. We also have a public plaza here, as Chris mentioned, which will be open to the public. It'll allow opportunities for intergenerational and inter-community interaction opportunities. We'll have full parkway landscaping and foundation plantings here to really try and activate and enliven the Lincoln Avenue pedestrian experience here. We also have a landscaped resident courtyard in the back here, which is both intended to be an amenity for the residents themselves, but then also provide kind of a nice view of a nice, beautifully landscaped courtyard for our neighbors to the north here from their backyards. As mentioned, covered parking here. We have our primary entrance into that covered parking area here. Also areas for ambulance access and the community minibus here. We'll also be widening the alley by 4 feet to allow a little bit more buffer space in between the neighbors, the residential neighbors to the north and the community here. On the first floor, we'll have primarily community spaces for the residents, so it'll allow the building to have more of a retail style, oops, go back here, kind of more of a retail style facade along the front there to further bring it into compliance with the comprehensive plan. And really the building itself is intended to be, have an urban character designed with high quality materials. We'll be using a combination of brick masonry, cast stone trim, fiber cement panel siding along with fiber cement wood look siding here, and then some of the metal canopy and awning structures you see as well. Yes?
There was 4 private suites. What was that for?
So we have 4 studio units in the memory care. They're not specifically private suites. So the unit mix is 78 assisted living units. We have, of those, we have 13 studio units. We have 58 one-bedrooms, and we have 7 two-bedrooms. And then in the memory care portion, we have 14 total units, 4 of which will be private studios for an individual, similar to what we have in the assisted living, and 10 of those will be companion suites in which 2 individuals would share a bathroom and be kind of a companion.
Trustee Roberts.
And I don't know if the staff has talked about with you, but we've talked a lot as a board about allowing Skokie residents to age in place, that if you wanted to downsize from your home and you did need some assisted living. So this is the first time in Skokie where we have an assisted living. I guess I always thought we had some, but I guess they're nursing homes. So, but could you talk a little bit about how this building allows people to stay in the community and what amenities it would offer someone?
Sure. So that is the intent. It would be the first assisted living facility, and really what it's trying to provide is that kind of step between a full nursing home and somebody who just may want to either downsize, like you mentioned, or just have a little bit more care. And so there's a few opportunities within here. One, we have different size units as mentioned. So people are also able, if they wanted to move into a 2-bedroom unit and then even further wanted to kind of step down and downsize from that, they could stay within the building as well and move to a 1-bedroom or a studio. Similarly, with the memory care facility within the building as well, if somebody were to need a higher level of care or were to develop dementia or Alzheimer's, they would still be able to move within the building to the memory care unit and receive that higher level of care as well. The building itself will have full services, including a commercial kitchen and dining room where 3 meals a day are provided. There's community spaces. The corner is being planned for kind of a bistro cafe sort of area, in addition to some of the outdoor amenity spaces we talked about. There will be a fitness room, physical therapy, and then various lounge spaces and kind of community spaces on each floor as well to try and foster social interaction within the building itself as well.
You didn't come prepared. Trustee Sucker.
I know that there's an assisted living facility on Lincoln further down in Morton Grove. Do they anticipate that being a competitive facility?
Let Chris take that one.
Yeah, the interesting thing about these assisted living facilities is in the marketplace, it's really interesting to see how compressed the actual marketing plans are, because they're really focused on marketing within the nearby or the first concentric ring of about a mile. Being a private pay facility, what we try to do is identify not only a location that's very advantageous, but income demographics that will also support the facility as well. And so when we do a facility like this, the whole idea is to, in this case, look to Skokie obviously first, and then you'd nibble out a little bit into Morton Grove and maybe touch Evanston, maybe Glenview a little bit. But we expect that probably, what we see is in most facilities, 70 to 75% of the residents come from the immediate area.
First is the Plan Commission Case 2018-26P, zoning map amendment 5300 to 5314 and 5328. A motion on the zoning map amendment is in order. Trustee Ulrich, seconded by Trustee Sutker. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts.
Aye.
Trustee Sutker.
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich.
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg.
Aye.
Trustee Klein.
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes. Next is Plan Commission Case 2018-27P, Alley Vacation, bounded by Lee Street, Lockwood Avenue, Lincoln Avenue, and Grosse Point Road. Motion is in order. Trustee Gray Keeler, seconded by Trustee Bromberg. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts.
Aye.
Trustee Sutker.
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich.
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg.
Aye.
Trustee Klein.
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes. Plan Commission Case 2018-28P, subdivision 5300 to 5314 and 5328 Lincoln Avenue. Motion is in order. Trustee Roberts, seconded by Trustee Sutker. Please call the roll.
Trustee Roberts.
Aye.
Trustee Sutker.
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich.
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg.
Aye.
Trustee Klein.
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes. Plan Commission Case 2018-29P, we're getting there. Site plan approval, Graham Briar Senior Living. Motion is in order. Trustee Gray Keeler, seconded by Trustee Klein. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts.
Aye.
Trustee Sutker.
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich.
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg.
Aye.
Trustee Klein.
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes, and believe it or not, concluding Plan Commission Case 2018-31P. 30 was already taken care of by the Plan Commission. This is the special use permit, 5318 Lincoln Avenue. Trustee Roberts, seconded by Trustee Sutker. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts.
Aye.
Trustee Sutker.
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich.
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg.
Aye.
Trustee Klein.
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes.
And Chris informed me that they do allow small pets.
Small pets. Like small pets. Welcome.
Welcome.
It's a very impressive project and great presentation. Longest answer to a single question thus far. Great job. Thank you very much. If I
My
did
next
no
case-
better, I would think you and Trustee Roberts had something planned. Great job. Thank you. Mr. Chairman.
My next case is case 2018-32P, site plan approval for the Chater Lubavitch School at 5201 Howard Street. Also at the September meeting of the Plan Commission, we reviewed the request for a site plan approval for 5201 Howard Street in order to construct an addition to the Chater Lubavitch School on a site that is 1 acre or greater in size in an R2 single-family zoning district, as required by Chapter 118-58 of the Skokie Village Code, and any relief may be discovered during the review of this case. School officials wish to construct a one-story, 720-square-foot addition to the existing school for a classroom adjacent to the courtyard. The impermeable footprint will not change, and the addition will look like it was part of the original building. The classroom will be used to provide better services for the 287 pre-K to 8th grade students, rather than adding more students to the building. The motor vehicle parking requirement is met with the 39 full-time parking spaces on the west side of the street to meet faculty and pre-K parking requirements, and overflow parking in the paved playground to accommodate 222 seating capacity at the multi-purpose room. The Plan Commission supports the reduced bicycle parking requirement of 6 spaces, as no more than 3 students and no staff or faculty are riding their bikes to the school. However, some bike parking must be provided as there are bike lanes adjacent to the subject property on Howard Street. The existing fence between the school and the townhouse building is partially on school property and partially on townhouse property. There is an existing underground utility in the area, and the staff prefers to leave the condition as it is. As both parties are amenable to continue this condition, a maintenance and replacement agreement for the fence must be agreed on by both parties. Replacement of supporting posts up to a full fence replacement will require village approval and may include a modified review process through the board. The existing signs are to remain. However, any signs that do not meet current sign requirements must be brought into compliance with the village code when damaged or planned replacement occurs. Arrival and dismissal concerns were discussed by neighbors, Rabbi Wolf, village staff, and the Plan Commission. Options including Howard Street drop-off, pickup, a driveway in the Laramie Avenue Street Yard, and one-way southbound traffic on Laramie were discussed. It was determined that the village staff will work with the school officials to improve the arrival and dismissal procedures, including parking and traffic flow, prior to the first reading of this case before the village board. Since that meeting, planning and engineering staff prepared a suggested routing map for bus, pre-K, and K through 8 drop-off and pickup. Suggested regulatory sign time changes along Laramie were supported by the school staff. A residential neighbor at 7557 Laramie expressed concern regarding not being able to get out of his garage or driveway due to school traffic on Laramie and drivers speeding down the street. He appreciates the school staff assisting with the traffic control, however, more should be done. A residential neighbor at 7539 Laramie agreed with this neighbor and asked about construction staging and asked if it was going to impact street parking. It is expected that the construction will be located on school property and to the west of the building. Another resident at 5151 Jerome expressed concerns regarding school congestion and asked for drop-off and pickup on school property, as it seems that the parking lot in the back of the building can't be used during times of the day. At the July 11th meeting of the Appearance Commission, they approved the elevations, and the Plan Commission, on a vote of 7 ayes, 1 nay, and 1 absent, approves the petitioner's request for this plan.
A motion on Plan Commission Case 2018-32P, site plan approval for 5201 Howard Street is in order. Trustee Bromberg, seconded by Trustee Klein. Are there any comments or questions? Is there anybody who wishes to address the board? Trustee Roberts.
So did the discussions about drop-off, and did they result in any agreements, changes, or suggestions, or where does it stand now, Peter?
Yes, traffic engineers Samantha and Carrie from our office worked with the rabbi, and so they changed the pattern so that the kindergarten through 8th grade get dropped off here on the street instead of everybody, and then that the kindergarten and pre-kindergarten come up frontage road and come into the parking lot from behind and drop off in this area, and also the buses come through here and then they go back out onto Howard Street. So it effectively separates the traffic very well, and I think it'll help the neighborhood.
And what was the drop-off? Was it on Howard before, or is
No,
it?
it was primarily on the side street.
On Laramie,
On Laramie.
Okay,
primarily.
great. So this will be safer for the children.
Yes.
Trustee Ulrich.
Was the dissenting opinion in the planning commission, was that due to the congestion, the traffic congestion?
No reason was given.
Okay.
I think it was related to
To
the
it, but
parking requirement. Because of the way the parking is determined, the commissioner felt that it wasn't a reasonable way of determining it.
Call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts.
Aye.
Trustee Sutker.
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich.
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg.
Aye.
Trustee Klein.
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler.
Aye.
Mayor Wenderson.
Aye, the motion passes.
that concludes my report. Thank you.
Commission's been busy lately.
Yes.
Thank you.
All for the better of Skokie.
Yes, please thank the members of the commission. I would like to introduce two members of our commissions who are in attendance this evening. Thank them for coming this evening. Jessica Beverly from our Sustainable Commission, thank you. And Ken Mintel, who is on our Public Safety Commission. Thanks to both of you for attending this evening. And Jessica, thank you for doing a good job of recruiting for us. Appreciate it. The concluding item this evening before the executive session is citizen comments. Is there anybody who wishes to address the village board? Yes. If you would come to the microphone and give us your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Rachel Alexander, and I live at 9342 Ewing Avenue. That's on the Skokie side of Evanston, or known as Skevinston. I am here representing the parents of Walker Elementary School. We are located on Church between Central Park Avenue and Lawndale Avenue. I'm not a public speaker, so bear with me.
Take your time. Take your time.
Okay.
We're not going anywhere.
I'll try and get everybody home soon.
You have a captive
Actually, this
audience.
dovetails with exactly what you all were speaking about from the other school. This is about parking safety, traffic safety around our school. Over the past several years, the issue of traffic safety, which in our opinion is a shared issue between the residents of Skokie, the village of Skokie, and Walker Elementary School, has progressively gotten more dangerous. It has become commonplace that parents and students come dangerously close to being hit by motorists as they try to cross at the crosswalk at Arcadia and Central Park. In fact, in May of this last year, a parent was grazed by the car. She used the very crosswalk that I'm describing now. And it was kind of frightening because I wasn't there. She's actually here tonight. I personally have witnessed children and parents almost getting hit in this same spot this year, currently. Because of this, a group of concerned parents formed a traffic committee to address these specific issues. We are working closely with the school, its administrators, teachers, on finding a long-term solution. This has been a problem. I have a child who's in first grade, but also I have a child who's a sophomore at ETHS and went through Walker, and believe me, as a parent, I fought the battle for a decade. And now I'm really fighting the battle. We are working with the school because we feel that while parents have taken up the cause, those of us that graduate take the system with us, and therefore it's not a long-term solution. So the next group of parents that come through have to fight the same fight, and we really need to come up with something that's a little better. The Traffic Safety Committee has done several things. We have set up a system with the school, by the way. This is a meeting that we have with the school. And we are enforcing the no parking signs in the area, which has drastically reduced the number of cars, double and triple parking, which any of you who live near a school, this is a constant issue with both pickup and drop-off, which causes unsafe conditions for not only the school and the parents at the school, but the residents in the area as well. The Traffic Safety Committee not only volunteers its time on a regular basis, there are about 5 of us that are a core group of safety traffic squad, as we like to call ourselves, and we've tried to expand that circle, but it is difficult because it's not the most thankful job in the whole world. The school has formed a safety patrol, we are thrilled with that, because that means that our school is going to take ownership of this, hopefully. It is guided by teachers who are helping to manage the crosswalks on Central Park between Church and Davis. A letter writing campaign and calling campaign has been started, and I believe many of you have heard not only from us, but also Kenneth, who is a parent at Walker as well, and we really appreciate all that you've done for us. Lastly, our principal, Ginger Lumpkin, has written the village as well. I wanted to give you this background so that you understand that the parents, the students, and the faculty are invested in finding a solution. And we are asking that the village contribute to that solution as well. In the last week, I think it is, we actually saw the village trucks come by and put a painting sign or a little symbol by our crosswalk, which is the intent that you all thank the Lord, giving us a sign to signify that there's a crosswalk. That's a great first step. We're coming to you tonight to ask if there's any possibility or how we can go forward in possibly getting not just the sign, but maybe some better speed signs in the area. There's really none. They're tiny. People don't see it. They don't acknowledge the fact that it's a school. And that's just on the area between Church and Davis. Where another area that we need help is between Central Park and I think it's Lawndale on Church. There was a digital sign at one point. I can't tell you, we had just met and we had this discussion. The next day, the digital sign went up. I can't tell you, we're like, woo, we've really made a change. And then we realized we had nothing to do with that. And we were thrilled that it was there, but it was during the summer. And it disappeared like 2 weeks before school started. And having that come back would be really, really helpful. Because I think what happened is that the data that you collected was not during school session. So the traffic that increases during the school is quite a lot. So maybe adding that back would really be helpful. Now that we've said this, and now that I've presented to you probably poorly, I want to thank you for at least hearing me and for giving us a sign, and hope that you might work with us on finding solutions as we go forward.
Would you leave your phone number?
Sure.
With Ms. Luke? John Lockerbie, our village manager, can be in touch with you.
Wonderful.
This is the first I've heard of it, and I just asked John. He hasn't received any communication from Walker School, so, and he met with the superintendent this last week.
Last week.
You met with Dr. Gorin?
I did.
Okay.
But we have a team on staff, a combination of police officers and engineering staff, the traffic engineers, that we would love to work with you to improve the situation.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
If you just leave your phone number, we'll be in touch with you.
Perfect.
Great.
Thank you.
It's a great school.
Thank you. We think
It's
so. That's why we're here.
It
Thank
is.
you.
Wonderful school.
They're all Walker grads.
Yeah.
Yay.
And their kids were doing that.
We are working with this school to bring it back. They just started about 3 weeks ago, and they're getting their sea legs, so to speak.
And it was a big deal if you got to be the guy directing traffic.
Yes, it is. And if you want to give us any advice, we're all ears. Trust me.
Have them all walk.
Yeah.
Get rid of the cars.
I agree.
Do they wear white belts anymore?
They do. They just got their white belts a
Orange?
couple weeks ago, and stop signs, which was another small victory, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we used to wear white belts, and then they changed them to orange
Bright
and
orange.
yellow
When
or
I-
something.
yeah, when I was a patrol boy, it was bright.
I like the
Oh, I
way-
see, there's a lot of history here. Yeah, okay.
I don't want to
good.
say how much. generational, we'll just put it that way. But thank you very much, and we'll work with you.
Okay, thank you so much. I
Happy
really
to,
appreciate it.
sure. Is there anybody else yes?
Ken Mantell, 57 Williamsburg Road. I just want to thank the members of the Safety Patrol, because when you go over there, it is evident that the hard work that the parents of the PTA and the Safety Patrol, it's a reason why nobody else has been hit. And I remember September 12th, was a big date that somebody else almost got hit, and I nearly got hit as well. I would also like to thank Chiefs
Scarpelli.
Sorry, I was about to cough. Deputy Chief Weinman has been great in trying to help with us, and Eric Cook and his staff in traffic engineering have been amazing. So that's probably why you haven't heard about it, is because they've been taking care of
They're
it
doing
before
their
it came up
job.
to the top level. And I want to give kudos to everybody who's helped. And Chief, thank you again for the extra patrol that's come out on the afternoon and in the morning, and how much they really care about the kids in our school, and the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Bromberg.